sector is clear.
Give us everything we got! All wings.
What's up, y'all? Saboteur6 here, going over Yoda's star card Master of the Force, and basically it's not working the way it's supposed to. It's either not working at all, or it's doing damage in a way that doesn't go by the tooltip, which says bonus damage at max radius. And we're using a common version, which should be 20 bonus damage. So getting right into it, we're going to be testing on this Boba Fett with the star card unequipped to give you an idea for the baseline damage. So baseline Unleash, the push, does a flat 100 damage and knockback, which I'll show here on this Boba Fett. Right about, wait for it now. Okay, so 100 damage, and then we're going to transition to the max block absorb Unleash, which will be 175 damage. That's with no card. So that's just an unequipped star carded Yoda versus an unequipped star carded Boba Fett. So now this is where things get interesting. We're going to look at how it behaves. So this is basically just absorbing shots from Boba Fett. And as you see, you know, nothing happens. So the full blue bar from the block absorb happens. You know, Yoda loses stamina. Boba Fett tags him with laser shots. Looks like it's working as it's supposed to. A couple more reps of that. Eats Yoda's stamina until his absorb breaks, his block breaks, and he takes damage. Now, just to show that I am equipping the card, respawn out, and then we equip Master of the Force, which again, it says 20 damage once it reaches max radius. And right off the bat, you're going to see that it's doing something weird. So without the reticle aimed at Boba Fett, so I'm not even directly in reflect range, it procs for 20 at the bottom there. You see Boba Fett take damage? The same value as the star card for just getting Yoda's block absorb up to full. It does it consecutively for a couple different examples. So this is with the reticle on Boba Fett. See? Procs damage. And then that Unleash actually did the improper damage. So that should do 150 plus the 25 from the proc, and that's not even what it did. So I don't know what's going on there. So then we move on to Bosk, and Bosk has the hip fire shotgun projectile and the snipe with the zoom. And so right now this is just going to be the testing from his hip fire projectile. And I don't know if it's the way his projectiles, his blast works, but it's difficult for Yoda to even register block absorb. Look, that blue bar hardly moves. And it looks like it's registering as block because of the animation from Yoda. So I'm not sure if that's a Bosk issue, but you know, the blue bar won't even go up. And this happens at a couple different ranges. This is relatively close. This is, you know, a typical Bosk range to be in. Until we see that Bosk actually gets the blue bar maxed out, but doesn't take any proc damage, similar to what was happening with Boba Fett. So in this case, it looks like the card's not doing anything. And there's just several more examples of that I'll let you watch, where Bosk is maxing out the block absorb blue bar, but there's no damage that's happening. And that Unleash there is the wrong value. That should have been more damage than what it did. So there's something more going on with this star card. Now we're going to look at his snipe mechanic, his L2 zoom mechanic see what's going on, if that will register differently. And right now, look, it's not even registering as block absorbed blue bar. And so there's no proc, nothing's happening. It's a different range, it's a different type of projectile, I would assume. I don't know 100% for sure. But examples of that, headshotting Yoda, and now the blue bar is starting to move, and if you look, it actually procced. 20 points went off Bosk once the blue bar started to move. And here we go again, same thing, blue bar is moving, shots are registering, and the proc is happening again with Bosk. 20 points damage shaved off, the same value as the common star card for Master of the Force. Okay, moving on to Palpatine. Now this is where it gets really weird. I know Palpatine's lightning does weird stuff anyway, so again, I don't know what the variables at play that are causing these problems are, if it's just specific to Yoda, if it has to do with Palpatine's lightning. But here we go. This is a right-handed blast from Palpatine. Maxes out Yoda's blue bar. Palpatine takes no damage. What's even weirder though is if you look, the blue bar doesn't degrade like usually it does. Usually if you stop absorbing, the blue bar degrades. Yoda basically will bank blue bar from Palpatine's attacks. So it stays until you use Unleash. And this is just a weird mechanic that I haven't seen with any other character versus Yoda. It will actually also do this, it's not in this clip, but I've had it in matches with heroes versus villains where this will happen even absent of the Master of the Force card. So I think, again, this is an example of the function of the block absorb mechanic doing weird things. We saw fully charged Unleash there on Yoda due to the value it's supposed to, which was 175 without the proc. Now there we just saw the proc happen once the blue bar was maxed out. But then now it doesn't. And it actually breaks Yoda's stamina and does damage to Yoda. So it's just a weird consistency that I can't really figure out what the variable is that's making it behave the way that it does. That is a double-handed zap on an already charged up blue bar of Yoda, because remember, Yoda banks blue bar on Palpatine. And so that doesn't seem right either. So essentially each time I have to dump off the blue bar by just casting Unleash, not on Palpatine. Which is what I did there. Okay, so no blue bar this time. Maxes out the block absorb until it breaks Yoda's stamina. No damage done to Palpatine. And that was from, I believe it was a double-handed lightning blast from Palpatine, where you hold both, both trigger buttons or whatever you're planning on to do that.
It is your end, my little green friend.
Again, just more examples of how the block absorb banks and there's no proc damage that's happening. And we already saw earlier where Yoda's maxed Unleashed did the normal value it's supposed to without any Master of the Force star card. It's supposed to do 175 at max. And that's exactly what it does. Okay, now here, this is even more interesting because now Yoda looks like he's completely immune to lightning damage from Palpatine. He just got zapped and took no hit point damage and continues not to. So now, for some reason, Yoda's not even taking damage from Palpatine. But it looks like, if you look at his stamina gauge, it's depleting, almost as if he's blocking, but he's definitely not blocking. And see, look, the stamina gauge continues to go up like he's in block, even though I'm not hitting block at all. That's a double-fisted lightning on Yoda, no damage, but again, like it's registering against block. Palpatine's lightning is bizarre. Okay, now it's going through for whatever reason. So now Yoda's taking damage again. So you would think he'd be able to absorb it again. But now he's not taking damage. But he's taking stamina damage. Now we're going to respawn, because I'm thinking maybe it has something to do with this particular, you know, ticket, this particular instance. So I'm going to respawn in as Iden, and we're going to test Iden. Now, Yoda has not spawned out, so, you know, it could be that this is a bug that occurs per life, and once you respawn in, it goes away. I'm not sure, again, what the variable is, but this is the same Yoda that was against the Palpatine. That's why I didn't show a transition. So Iden comes in, says hey to Yoda. So I'm testing to see if he's taking damage, which he seems to be. She blasts him, he takes 20 damage right off the bat. And look, now keep an eye on his unleash where the blue bar is. It's nothing. Then I go to block and it's maxed out. And I don't know if this is a product of Palpatine's lightning, or if it's just the way his block works in general, but that's obviously not right. Something's wrong there. So I dump off the blue bar to test against Iden to see if she will proc damage. So she's building blue bar, no damage proc at max. Maxes out blue bar, doesn't take any damage. And there we go. There was a max unleash to see if actually the damage was being distributed differently. It's still 175 damage. That's not any extra damage on the unleash. So now I'm thinking maybe it's this particular instance of Yoda. So let's respawn as Yoda to see if the bug goes away. And still nothing from the star card, not the weird proc that seems to happen. Nothing's changed. So several more examples of Yoda taking the full block absorb blue bar, the weird proc not happening. Iden taking no damage whatsoever. Now there, we had a full max damage unleash do 175 damage, what it's supposed to do. And so it's not as if the star card is adding any damage to that either. And here we go, fast. Now this is what the first video was on. Same life, same instance Yoda. And we see here he's building blue bar, but there's no weird proc that's happening with Phasma. So, let's respawn and see if we can get it to happen again. Star card still equipped. And we actually switch to the Flame Trooper here, which, just for fun, I guess, and to test the properties of the flamethrower on him. So, that actually was being full blocked. I stopped blocking to see if it would register. But it looks like the flamethrower doesn't even do stamina damage against Yoda. It's basically, he treats it as it doesn't build blue bar, but it doesn't register as doing any really impact to his stamina. So it looks like he can just indefinitely block flamethrower attacks. And I doubt that has to do with the star card. That's just probably, again, the block absorb mechanic function in a way it's not supposed to. As you can see, he's stressing out because his gun's overheating. But yeah, blue bar is not even moving. It's not even registering. He pops the middle ability. which I believe does more range and more damage, and still doesn't impact anything. Yoda just does not care. Doesn't build Unleash, but doesn't really take any damage. Back to Iden. Star card is still equipped. She's taking no damage on the proc. Okay, so the proc damage is not happening. Let's test and see if there's bonus damage being applied to Force Push. Unleash. It is not. That is the typical 175 amount you would get off of a normal maxed Unleash without the card. So something's going on here. And now after Iden gets pushed, for whatever reason, she starts taking proc damage. So when she maxes out Blue Bar, she's taking a hit point damage. So if you made it this far, I appreciate you looking at this video. Obviously something's going on here with the star card and block for Yoda. So I would appreciate devs looking into this because it's not functioning the way it's supposed to.